And tonight on the Daily Wrap, Donald Trump makes it official and turns the GOP race upside down. Rick Unger heads to Trump Tower to talk to Americans about the Donald's chances. Rachel Dolezal, she's white, she's black, she's back, and defending herself in craptastically entertaining fashion. And Prince plays the White House over the weekend. You'll never guess who paid for it. Really, you'll never guess. We'll discuss all of that, plus potluck and yay and nay. This is the Daily Wrap, live from Manhattan. And welcome to the show, everybody. Joining me, of course, is my co-host, Rick Unger of Forbes and Sirius, and now the Man on the Street Interviewer of the Year.
Yeah, you think?
Well, you've been
You
getting a
have
lot of
my
work.
Emmy hiding under there, or what?
your SB, your Emmy. How did that go? Quickly.
How did it go? Well, you're going to see how it went.
Okay.
I'm not going to give it away.
That is a tease, as we call it in the business, everybody. Also joining us, America's pundit and Philly attorney. She is Heather Hansen, wearing a very neutral color tonight. And finally, the editor of thewisdomdaily.com, Brad Hirschfield, is back again. Good to see you, sir.
Good to be here.
All right, let's get right to the Daily Download.
I am officially running for President of the United States, and we are going to make our country great again.
You know, that suit looks very familiar. I can't put my finger on it. Anyway, bombastic millionaire Donald Trump becomes the 12th Republican, to join the 2016 race for the White House. And while 11 others beat him to the punch, there's no denying his announcement was quite possibly the greatest presidential campaign launch in history.
I would repeal and replace the big lie Obamacare. I would build a great wall, and nobody builds walls better than me, believe me. And I'll build them very inexpensively. I will build a great, great wall on our southern border, and I will have Mexico pay for that wall. Mark my words.
Well, Trump never fails to disappoint when it comes to stagecraft. Are voters going to buy what he is selling? Now, before I come to you, Hirschfield, okay? Yeah. There will be an inclination here to just mock and laugh and say he has no chance. Yes, so I thought there's two ways I could go with this. Do we seriously look at some of the things he said today and all the contradictions? In other words, he is a serious candidate in this sense. He will completely disrupt what could be one of the more interesting GOP fields that we've seen in our lifetime. I mean, in terms of the candidates, I mean, it is impressive. So, all right, here's my question. Will he disrupt this race to the point where it will hurt whoever eventually gets the nomination?
No, I don't think so. Look, he stood up there and said, I am very rich.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't think analyzing that, I think he will do one thing. We haven't had a candidate who refers to himself in the third person this much since Bob Dole. Now, the truth is, it didn't work out so good for Bob Dole. Now, I don't think this is going to be...
got the nomination?
It is true he did, but I think that was the last place they were actually comparable to each other. Now, look, I don't think it's going to disrupt anything. I think it'll be in the headlines. He'll probably get a little bit of a tick upward. He will make the cut and make the debates. That's almost certainly the case. But beyond that, no, I don't think it's going to be a big deal.
So you're not taking him, Heather Hansen, seriously as a candidate?
I am not, but I do take some of the things he says seriously. I think the fact that he says I'm very rich, you've got all the other candidates trying to use hyperbole about how poor they are and where they came from and how they built their way up. And he's just saying, look, I'm successful. I have done very, very well. He points out the fact that there are 25 countries who are doing better than us on education. If you fact check that, it is correct. He talks about Obamacare in 2016, which I think is something that not enough of the candidates are talking about. So I think he adds to the discussion in a way that could be helpful.
Okay, now you had a rule once on this show, Unger, saying you will never talk about Donald Trump, and now you have to. It's our lead story.
But I've got my first headline.
Okay.
You're all crap, and I'm not. Because that's what his speech was today. He went through everybody on the political scene, called them the biggest dope ever, but said he's awesome. So you know what? Listen, we don't look early Christmas presents in the eye. It's the best thing that could have happened to the media. Let's be honest. It's going to be lots of fun to play with the Donald.
Well, I tweeted this out today, and I sincerely mean this, and I say this to God. I'm going to speak to God right now. God, please somehow put Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders on the same stage. Because wouldn't that be amazing?
I never thought I would say this. That's actually an insult to Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And it takes a lot for me to say that, but because at least one of them is serious. Maybe wrong, but he's serious. I think the other is a stage show. I get it, all of politics is a stage show, but this doesn't, it just doesn't rise to the level
Let's
of
talk
seriousness.
logistics real quick. Okay, so if he makes the top 10, he gets to be in that first debate hosted by Fox in primetime. And now that's 10 candidates and not a lot of time. He will be limited to 1 minute for a response. I don't think it is physically possible for him to do it.
No, I agree. He won't get anything of any consequence out in 1 minute. He hasn't even filed papers, though. Let's be clear. He's got 30 days in which to do so, but he has not yet done so. So this could still be.
He did already, however, we should note, break a record among people announcing for president. What record do you think that was? He spoke the longest of anybody's announcement ever.
Oh, that was the longest announcement?
Yeah,
Wow.
an hour and 15 minutes.
But did it seem as long as some of the others? Because it was
it did
so
seem long.
fascinating. I thought it was. I could have watched forever.
So let's go back to your generation in terms of music.
How do you mean my generation?
Neil,
exactly what are you trying to say?
I'm willing to bet that you were a Neil Young fan growing up as a young uncle.
Actually, not really.
Okay.
He had a couple songs I liked, but I thought most of them were incredibly pedestrian. But that's another story.
Rockin' in the Free World?
That was a good one.
Okay, so Neil Young has denounced
Yes, he
Donald
has.
using that music. I believe he's Canadian,
He's
though.
Canadian,
Canadian.
born in Toronto, Manitoba. He's lived in California and Lahonda
But he
for a
owns
lot of
Lahonda
years.
Trains, and
So
that's
anyway,
pretty cool.
we'll have to move on, unfortunately. Anyway, so Neil Young says, don't use it anymore, I'm supporting Bernie Sanders. What a shock. Well, anyway, our own Rick Unger went to the streets to see what New Yorkers think about their native son, Donald Trump.
So tell us your name.
Ivy,
Ivy, where are you from?
New York City.
In New York City. Now, as you may or may not know, just minutes ago, in the building right behind us, Donald Trump announced that he will be a candidate for the Republican nominee for president.
Did everyone laugh?
Hi, my name is Sana Lotfi.
Sana?
Correct.
So how long have you been a supporter of Mr. Trump?
Ever since The Apprentice.
Is it-
Show.
It was the show that got you interested in him?
It shows that he can have humility in front of the public.
I will be the greatest jobs president that God ever created. I tell you that.
All right, tell us your name.
Larry Taylor,
Larry, where are you from?
Morganton, North Carolina.
One of the things that Mr. Trump is not known for is his modesty. We can probably all agree on that. How does that play when you get down into the southern states where people have a tendency to be a bit more polite?
I think he's got an attitude. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He's going to tell you like it is. And I think that's North Carolina. That's what we're looking for. Somebody to tell you like it is and not beat around the bush.
So you guys obviously were inside the Trump announcement.
Yes, we were. Yes, we were.
Tell me what it is that you found interesting about his speech.
You know, I felt that, you know, he was unconventional. He was different than what we typically see in a politician. But I liked his brutal honesty.
Tell us your name.
Bob Landrigan,
And where are you from, Bob?
Madison, New Jersey.
So, you know, just moments ago, Donald Trump announced that he'll be a candidate for president. He did so here in Trump Tower right behind us. Wondering what you think about that.
I think the average American is tired of the politically correct, let's hold back, let's not insult anybody type president.
So tell us your name.
Martin Hastings.
Martin, where are you from?
I'm originally from Manhattan.
So you are a union official.
Absolutely.
And yet you are supporting Donald Trump.
Absolutely. Labor cannot exist without capital.
But would you consider Mr. Trump to be a union supporter?
Absolutely. Absolutely. He honors his contracts to the letter. He respects unions because that's where talent comes from.
Hank Sheinkoff, Democratic advisor, consultant extraordinaire. Did you get to listen to the speech?
You know what? It's extraordinary. Donald Trump runs, he makes everybody nuts. He makes everybody crazy, shakes the world up. And remember, when you have a vacancy for any job, any political job, the insurgent tends to do very well.
He's totally not a populist. He's a rich man's guy, and that's the end of it. He doesn't know anything about the common people. Nothing.
I think Hank's used the perfect word, insurgent.
Yeah.
That's what he is. Now, that said, were you surprised that there were as many serious supporters there
Well,
than you
to
met?
be fair, we were out front of Trump Tower as people were coming out of the announcement.
I get it, but some might have been there to see the circus, I would think.
Yeah, some were outside, but most people were coming out. But, you know, we did hang around for a while so we could try and get some others, and I have to tell you, I was surprised.
Interesting.
There was a lot of support for him.
Okay. Well, we'll have to see how this goes and how it ends, more importantly. It could be horrifying or it could be tremendous. Who knows? Either way, we'll be entertained. At any rate, Rachel Dolezal finally breaks her silence. What did you have to say about pretending to be black? Keep it right there.